So it's been a hot minute. I said I was going to do videos every day, or not every day, every week, and it's been a couple weeks. I kind of fell off. It's been busy. I've been busy, busy handling things, busy just being busy. I don't know, not a whole lot of excuses to it, really. I find myself in a weird place, and it's difficult to talk about because it's difficult to admit the weird place. Difficult to acknowledge it. Because I'm not that guy I used to be, right? Like we talked about in the last video. Because I'm different now and in the in-between of things, I find myself in a lot of situations that I almost distance myself from the guy I used to be. I distance myself from the things that I used to do, because it's difficult, you know? I'm trying to figure out ways to describe this like crazy feeling, right? It feels like walking through a house that burned down. You know the framework, you know where things are, you know where they belong, you know the layout. You know the layout of the land, but then you're looking around and the layout doesn't look like the layout anymore. There's ash everywhere, and there's chars of what remains. There's burnt fragments and pieces of things that once held a lot of value. And so I find myself walking through this house that burned down, and almost in a way wishing that I didn't walk through it. And what I mean by that is like wishing that I could forget the fact that the house burned down, or forget the fact that I know how amazing the house was before it burned. That's kind of where I'm at. I've been letting go of a lot of things, trying to find new and stuff, looking for new stuff. It's been really difficult, and I think the difficulty is more so around the fact that I have to find new ways to handle this, new ways to cope with it, and relearn my approach to everything. So it's just been a lot of new. And new's exhausting. If anybody knows new, if anybody's dealt with new is exhausting. New gets very old, very trying, very quick. So, but that's where I've been at, is new. Figuring out new. And then also figuring out a way to honor the old, which that part's the hardest. That part is the hardest, and the reason why I say that part's the hardest is because it's extremely hard to honor the past, to honor the way the house looked before, without falling into the sorrow of the fact that it's not there anymore. without bringing myself down, remembering. So I've been making changes to things. This is the hard part to talk about, the hard part to admit, is I've been making changes to things. I went through my Instagram and I archived a ton of the pictures and stuff that remind me of the way the house used to look. I've made a lot of rearranging moves to things. I mean, I've done that already throughout the year, like in previous months, but even more so now, I'm just kind of moving things around and trying to put a new spin around me on stuff. Because I don't want to get lost in the past of everything. Some of the biggest, some of the largest takeaways that I've had from a lot of different books and articles and stories I've heard and things that I've gathered from has been the outpour of how people get stuck in their grief, and then they no longer want to move forward and they just want to sit still. But I know that's not what she would want. She wouldn't want me to just sit still. She would want me to continue on, to do things, to move forward. That's what she would want. I know that. She expressed it to me, I know. And the only way I can find myself to do that is by trying to figure out a way to not forget and not disregard, but to almost, I guess the best word is used, to archive it. To take the memories, to take the experiences and archive them, save them in my heart where I know they're safe. Be thankful for all of it, but continue to move forward. So that's what I've been doing. A lot of moving forward, a lot of metamorphosis, if you will. A lot of change, a lot of growth. Last 2 weeks have been crazy, to say the least. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life, like a lot. More than I can discuss here in a public forum, because while I do my best to be as transparent as I can be on my YouTube, there's stuff that happens behind the scenes that I can't outright tell the public. But there's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot moving. There's a lot of moving parts and moving pieces. There's a lot. So right now it's a lot of figuring it out, which used to be good at. This is difficult. Figuring it out right now is difficult, because figuring it out right now means that I have to be willing to accept and change to move forward. Now, by no means am I trying to rush the process. I'm not rushing the process. I'm embracing the process if I'm doing anything. But I acknowledge where I'm at. And I acknowledge where I'm at, and I acknowledge the fact that whether I asked for this, whether I wanted it, whether I chose it or not, doesn't really matter, right? Because reality is reality. This is my reality now. And there's this, I don't know if I discussed it in the last video or not, to be honest, but there's this thing that I have grown to live by over the past few, probably the last 4 months, actually. It's a Stoic concept that I've grown to just kind of attach myself to. Memento mori. Remember that you must die. It's a humbling thing to know that one day you have to die. Like, to truly recognize it, to truly see it, know that that's reality, right? Like, we all go through life, we all do our things throughout our days, we all go to work, we go home, we eat, we hang out with friends, enjoy our family, those kind of things. And we all kind of learn to figure out a way to tuck away the fact that we will eventually die. That this life is not permanent. That our stay here isn't eternal. Sorry about the sirens in the background. Apparently, the city's busy today. But, anyway, back to my point. You figure out a way to not think about the fact that one day you'll die. Like, we never think about it, because who wants to think about that, right? Who wants to have that at the forefront of their mind? Who wants to put that type of energy and effort into a thought? I do. For one very easy reason. It's because recognizing, understanding, and owning the fact that I know one day I'll die gives me every reason to live. It gives me every reason to do the things that I want to do. It gives me every reason to move forward. It gives me every reason to take the opportunities and make the decisions and jump and leap and do the crazy stuff and make the decisions that otherwise I would never thought to make. To take chances, to take risks, because why not? One day I have to die. One day I have to leave this place. And so if that's the case, shouldn't I embrace everything that I can? Shouldn't I take the chances that I can? Enjoy the opportunities that I can? I mean, I think I should. I think you should. It's a perspective. It's definitely a perspective, and it's definitely a very honest, real perspective. So that's where I've been the last few weeks. I guess the takeaway from this video is going to be, remember that you must die. I know that sounds really morbid, but I'm telling you, like, if you embrace that, if you take it and you live by it and you hold it close to your heart, it's going to open up your eyes and make you see things completely different than the way you ever have. And you're going to take big action, because that's what you're here for. It's what you're meant to do. It's to take these big action steps in life and to go as far forward as you can. The weather's kind of getting crazy out here, so I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to get back on doing videos every week. I promise. Oh, even the lights are kicking on. Alright. I'm out.